Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Kugane Castle. This is one of 3 endgame dungeons made available by Final Fantasy XIV, Stormblood. My name is Miss Tech, and I'll be your dungeon guide. In this first section of trash, the big dudes do cleave, so tanks be sure not to face them towards your group. Extra adds will also spawn, so be ready to pick those up. The first boss is Zuiko Maru. He has a large frontal cone that should be avoided as necessary. Throughout the encounter, he'll spawn a number of suicidal bombs that will tether to a player and move towards them. If the bomb reaches the player, they may bind the player in place. Everyone should switch to these bombs and destroy them as soon as possible so that all players can move to the safe zone. You'll have to deal with at most 2 bombs at a time. Since the blast radius of each bomb is very big, I'd recommend tethered players moving together to overlap their bombs and maximizing the safe zone available. Kenki Release is group-wide damage that will need to be healed through. Helm Crack will target a player for the shareable damage. The group should stack to minimize damage. Rinse and repeat until the boss is down. In the next set of trash, I'd recommend focusing down the summoners first, to keep them from spawning extra mobs. If they do summon successfully, tanks be ready to pick up the new adds. The second boss is Dojin Maru. Clockwork Medium will spawn clones around the outside of the arena. Players will need to watch out for the column AoE effects caused by each clone and avoid them as necessary. If you are hit by the ground AoE here, you'll be knocked up and debuffed with vulnerability up. Once the clones are targetable, be sure to swap to them and destroy them as quickly as possible. If left up too long, they'll explode, dealing high group-wide damage. Clockwork Raiton will target players with this large AoE circle. Move away from others to reduce damage. Rinse and repeat until the boss is down. In this section of trash, you'll have a number of pulls with bomb adds that will begin casting an explosion at a certain health threshold. Kill these first to avoid blowing up your group. The last boss is Yojimbo. He'll pause his attacks to wait for payment. During these phases, his dog will pounce around the room after piles of gold, knocking back anyone in his way and increasing the duty gauge with each gold pile picked up. Players will need to pick up this gold before to reduce the amount of damage Yojimbo will do. The dog will go after the gold in the order it is dropped, and players can use this to prioritize what piles to pick up. Once all the gold has been picked up, either by his dog or by you, he'll run out to the center and cast Zanmoto, dealing damage based on how much gold is in his gauge. Healers be ready to top everyone off here. Metagiri is another AoE attack on the group. INOSHI-KATCHO will summon butterflies that will deal large circle AoE attacks in the center, and then move on to the outer perimeter of the room. Avoid these as necessary. Yagiri is a point-blank AoE attack followed immediately after. Tanks and melee be sure to avoid this as well. For the next gold phase, he'll cast Dragon's Lair, spawning a number of dragon heads that will slowly move around the room and cast AoE towards players. These don't really have too much health and can be killed as you pick up the piles of gold. The fight will then repeat until the boss is down. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll take a look at the Temple of the Fist. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.